Chelsea manager Mauricio Pochettino has been tweeting ahead of his side's Premier League clash against Fulham tomorrow. It's live and exclusive on talkSPORT 12:30. He said that the Cottagers will be a tough test for the Blues.
No, for us, it's important to perform and to win. I think at the moment it's not important to be in one another position. The most important is to finish above, them. But I think it's important because we are going to face a very good team. Fulham is doing well. We saw the last game against Liverpool. In the way that they play, not only in the Carabao Cup, if not in the semi-final, if not in the league, in the Premier League. They are a team that they are doing really well. They have very good players and going to be tough the game tomorrow.
What does he need to do, Pochettino, in his time at Chelsea over the next 18 months? What does he need to do? He's not going to win the league.
They have to be pushing for top four again. That's a club that, certainly throughout the last 20, I know they were winning silverware before that, FA Cups and that, I get that. But they turned into a real powerhouse when Abramovich came in. So the last 20 years, they've been winning everything there is to win, like multiple times. It's got to be now looking at, like where they are now, 10th's not good enough. They have to be pushing for Champions League. And not even just, I know it's a slow process and Europe is, okay, you start with Europe and then you push for that Champions League, but they need to be pushing, aim for that Champions League. That's where they need to be. The amount of money they've spent as well.
Have they got the players to do that?
That's the question, because they've signed a lot of players and we went through it, I think last week or this week. Which one of those players have they signed where you've gone, that's work? Cole Palmer, 100%.
But I sort of feel Cole Palmer was a little bit, I wouldn't say of luck.
Cheat code, because of Manchester City.
Yeah.
I get what you're saying. You know the coaching he's just been getting from Pep.
Yeah. And also, it wasn't one they went after all summer. It was like, all of a sudden, it was like, do you want him? Yeah, we'll have him. Yeah. That was it.
But then Mudryk, been awful.
Yeah.
Neville Jackson. Even Caicedo. Caicedo does not look like the same player.
No,
I saw Brighton. Nowhere near.
Cucurella as well. They spent over 60 million on him.
Hasn't worked. The Sazi, I'm not sure about him.
No, it is strange, isn't it?
So much money.
When you say they need to be knocking on the door top four, right? I just don't know. We're going to talk about financial fair play a bit later on. Top of the 5 hour, we'll be asking people to phone up and tell us whether or not they think it's right or wrong, okay, going forward. When you look at the fact now that you can only spend a limited amount of money to do with revenue and so on,
of course,
I just can't see how teams outside of it, right, that are as far away from Chelsea, so that I know this sounds bizarre because they've got so many new players coming in, but I look at that squad and I think that's not good enough to get top four football, right? So they need to sell and buy, right? And I know it's balancing the books. I just can't see how a side like Chelsea, and I know people are going to shout at the radio, what about Man United? But we'll talk about them a bit later. I can't see how Chelsea are going to do that in the next 2 years. I really can't see how Mauricio Pochettino is going to keep hold of his job if he doesn't get them Champions League football, and I don't think he will get them Champions League football in 2 years. I can't see it happening.
I don't know what he does with that squad either, because that squad is fully loaded with average players. And when you look at what they could have spent money on, some of the players they could have got, I mean, some of the players they haven't been given a chance and they look quite decent, like Madueke. Liked him at PSV.
What do you make of Sterling?
I mean, it's hard to throw that at Sterling because he's been such a top player for so long. But there are times where, especially the Middlesbrough game, every decision he made was wrong. Give the ball away. But he's been a top player, he's a top international. He's like, I get it, they bought him and he wasn't that old and he should be setting the standards. But I almost feel like Sterling's the least of their problems. Do you know what I mean? Lavia's a good player. I haven't seen him yet.
No.
50 million they spent on him for nothing.
Yeah, I do think tomorrow's so much bigger for Chelsea than it is for Fulham.
Pochettino, I read an interview this morning, he's now worried about Nkunku. He's worried because he doesn't know what's wrong with him. They can't find what's wrong with him.
What do you mean they can't find it?
Well, that's what he said. He's worried because he doesn't know what's wrong with him.
It's a bit bizarre, isn't it?
Bizarre. But their injury list as well, like I've said to you again, Chelsea aside, they never have injuries 1 or 2 days or a couple of weeks. All their injuries turn into weeks, months.
Term, yeah, they are. Do you think it'll be there? If Chelsea finished 10th, they finished 12th last season, right? If they finished 10th this season, it'll go, right?
Well, no, it depends. What if they're going to say to him, listen, this season now, buy these players. This is what you can. Buy the players you want now. Get out the ones I don't know how they're going to get them out, but move the ones you don't want to the side. Bring who you want in now, and this is your season now. Go and do it again. Go. Here's another transfer.
Just can't see it.
Here's another transfer.
When you look at how strong the obvious contenders are, Liverpool, Man City, I'd throw Arsenal in there. Spurs are doing incredibly well with the depleted side.
They've gone again in January. They've gone again now, haven't they?
Yeah, West Ham. You know, and I haven't talked about Man United or Newcastle. I just can't see how Chelsea are going to get anywhere near the top 6. I can't see it in a million years.
Do you know what also makes it a bit worse as well? They've not even got European football to worry about.
No, I know. So and usually that's a blessing.
It's a blessing. Not for because usually Chelsea in the past have had no European football and all of a sudden the following season won something massive.
Okay.
talkSPORT Drive. Super opinionated sporting debate. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.